All right, so we're still dealing with this question for XYZ Limited. Okay, we've got information about sales and the various costs, and they're asking us to use the least squares regression method to estimate the variable and the fixed components for. So today we're focusing on administration costs. Okay. So colleagues, when we look at sales and administration costs, which one goes on the x-axis, which one will go on the y-axis? Because when you're doing this type of questions for this, you have to correctly put the item that goes in the x-axis and the one that goes in the y-axis. Otherwise, you get an inverse equation. Yes. So between sales and admin costs, which one will go on the x and which one will go on the y? Madam Blessings? Sales on the x variable, yes. Then the administrative costs on the y side. So costs are always on the y. Sales and output, x. So make this table here. Okay, we've got sales, administration costs. Okay. Then the first column, you're multiplying the value in x by the value in y. And in this other column here, you're going to be squaring the x values. All right. So for January, sales was 75,000, administration costs 14,500. So XY column, 75,000 times 14,500, you get 1,087,500,000. You square your X value, 75,000 squared, you get 5,625,000,000. Any questions, colleagues, on this? By now, I think you should have understood the process. Is anyone having problems with the process? Madam Carol, have you grasped the process? Mr. Peter, have you grasped the process? Yes? Okay, fair enough. Okay. So as you can see, where the tabulations are happening, okay? This XY column, you're just multiplying the X and Y values. Okay, for February, when you multiply 82,000 times 14,500, you get 1,188 and 89,000,000. Okay. Then this X squared column, you're just going to square the X value. 82,000 squared, you get 6,724,000,000. March, 89,000 sales multiplied by the administration costs, 14,500, you get 1,290,500,000. Okay, you square the X value, 89,000, you get 7,921,000,000. Okay. So always follow what the table is saying. Although in the exam, they're not going to give you this table. Okay. So what you must remember is for least squares regression. Okay. You're multiplying x by y and you're squaring x. Okay. If you can remember those two, just remember that. Uh-huh. Yes. You'll be given like this here. How it is like this here. So it's you who must make the table. Mm. It's you who must make the table. So it's first you have to determine, okay, what's my x element? What is my y element? As I said, x is always going to be either output or sales. Y is always going to be costs. Okay. Because remember here, what we're trying to do with this least squares regression, we're trying to form a cost equation. Okay. If you remember, like in the high-low method, that equation we made was a cost equation to get your total costs. Even here, it's the same here. Okay. We're making a cost equation so that we can forecast or estimate future costs for budgetary and planning purposes. Okay. Because remember, management accounting is all about decision making. Okay. And it's also about also planning and guiding the company. Uh-huh. This is Madam Caro. Do you have a question, Madam Caro? Yes. So, as you've seen, multiply x times y, you get your figure. Then square x, and you get your figure. Okay. Just remember that in the table. When I form my, just remember this. When you see this in the exam, okay, I'm going to make a table. I determine my x, my y. Then I'm going to have to multiply x by y, and I have to square x. Okay. Then this is how I've got these values. So are there any questions before I proceed further? Okay, this is how these values have been got. Any questions before I proceed further? Okay, so after you've multiplied your x element and your y element, you get the total. Okay, so these figures here, you add them. Okay, it's just that reading out these figures is a lot of work. That's why I'll just be referring to them. These are big numbers, but these figures you add, you get the total. Okay, the total we got was 7,844,500,000. That's the total for the XY column. Okay. Each column has to have a total. Remember that our X column also has a total. You add all the sales values, 501,000. Our administration costs column, you add all the total values, these 14,500, you add them, you get 87,000. Our X squared column also, you add all these values, you get 49 billion 303 million. Yes. Any questions? Remember, feel free where you get lost, ask. Okay. because this course, as I said, this is not a course you want to deal with next year. This is a course you want to just say bye-bye to it and you continue on with your life. So are there any questions? I believe in the exams, this formula will be provided. The formula for B and A. Okay, they will be provided because, truthfully speaking, it's hard to you can't memorize this formula. Okay, even though you tried, you can't memorize this formula. Okay, so B, as I said, B represents the variable costs. Okay, N. Last time, what did I say? What does N represent? Mr. Peter, last time, remember you even asked, so what does the N represent? You even asked this question, so what does N represent? What does N represent? Madam Carol? Madam Blessings? Oh, you wrote it in a message. Colleagues, when you answer in a message, I won't be able to see. I can't be heard. Number of elements, basically. Okay. Yes. So here you just count. Or in this case, you can even say number of months. Okay. Number of months, because we're dealing with January, February, March, April, May, June. And this information is relating to those months. Okay, so we can even just say number of months. Okay. So here there are 6. So N represents 6. Okay, here this is now where we switch from English to Greek. Colleagues, what does sigma xy mean? Now we've started speaking Greek. Welcome to Greek lessons. Madam Tavo, what does sigma xy mean? Madam Blessings? Madam Carol? Thank you. Sum of x and y, which is on this 7 million, not 7 billion, right? Yes, thank you, madam. Yes. Because once you can interpret the formula, then life is easy. Okay, colleagues? Moment you can interpret the formula, it will make life easy for you. Okay, so summation of x and y, we replace it here. Okay. Then sigma x, summation of x, so this 541,000 here. Sigma y, summation of y, 87,000. Then below here we have n, which is 6, multiplied by summation of x squared, meaning this last row here. Okay, summation of x squared, not last row, last column. So this 49 billion here, 30, 9,303,000,000. Okay. Then here, okay, summation of x, which is 541,000 squared. Okay. So know how to differentiate the two, because you might get confused between these two. So colleagues, are we okay with differentiating these two? Okay, at least Mr. Madam Blessing is okay. Okay, what I was saying is this. Trying to admit. Yes, what I was saying is this. Summation of x squared. You're looking at this last column here. Okay, because this is the x squared column. Then summation of x, which is the first numerical column, and then you're going to square this number. So I was saying that you must be able to differentiate between these two so that you do not interchange in the exam. Okay. Or you do not swap. Where here it's summation of x squared, then you put this 541. That would be wrong. Okay. Yes. All right. Let's get our calculators. 6 times 7,844,500,000. What do we get? 7,067,000,000. 7,067,000,000. Are we all getting that? If you're getting a different figure, let me know, okay? When we multiply 6 times this figure here, okay? Then 541,000 times 87,000. Hey, you should get the same number here, 47, thing, billion, 67 million. Yes. Are we also getting the same figures here? So these two, when you multiply them, you're getting the same figures, okay? Yes. We go to the next one. 6 times 49,303. So 6 times 49,303. Okay, you're going to get this figure, 295 billion 818 billion and 818 million. $541,000 squared, you're going to get this number here, 292,681,000,000. Okay. So basically, this is telling us there's no variable cost here in administration cost, okay? Because here our numerator will be 0, then 295 billion minus this 295 billion. Yes, you get 3,137,000,000. Okay, then this divided by 0, you get 0. Okay, so basically there's no variable cost here. Okay, as you can see, these selling and administration costs, they're the same each month. Okay, it's only fixed. Okay, it's only fixed, so we don't have a variable component. Before I go any further, any questions? Okay, we get A, which is our fixed cost component. Okay, A equals sigma y, summation of y. So sigma y is 87,000. B is 0. Okay, summation of x, remember, is 541,000 divided by n. So 87,000 here. 0 times 541,000, you get 0. So you have 87,000 minus 0. You get 87,000. 87,000 divided by 6. 14,500. Okay, this is your fixed cost component. So we put it in the equation of a line. Y equals A plus BX. Remember, Y is the total admin costs. Okay, to present the total admin costs. So 45,000, 14,500 plus 0x. Okay, so this is our equation. Yes. Any questions, colleagues?